Hello, trading has closed on June 26, 2023. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer, go over our calls, and then make some predictions. This is my trading plan for tomorrow, which is June 27th, 2023. Please remember I have personal business, not spending as much time as usual in making my analysis, and also my analysis can be completely wrong, so all trades should be made at your own risk. Look for the pattern with the early high, which is this, and tomorrow should also have the early high. We did have a target, a higher target, 43.6656. I thought it might fail, and it did, so we'll just have to add it to the list. It should be seen at some time. We have higher targets generated from today's patterns, 43.5827 and ultimately 43.62.07. I'm not really too confident about these numbers printing on time either, but that's what the system says. Early on, MEJT said ultimately lower price it would print and ultimately higher price it would print. There's no time limit on these ultimate signals, but usually you don't have to wait more than a few days. The ultimate sells already played out, but we have these targets left behind. This afternoon rally was called false, it's already retraced. This drop was called false, that's already retraced. Well, with the mixed signals rules, the commonest thing was a gap and a prompt move outside the day's range. We got the gap, but didn't get a prompt move outside the range, even though we moved outside the range later. Next most common was to close a little change and a big move the next day. Well, with 20 minutes left to trade, we were certainly little change, but it's the close that counts, and that was outside the range, so that didn't happen. This was one of those least common things when neither one of those things happened. In spite of that, our longer-term call is still alive. We had a strong possibility. We opened down Monday, which happened, fall into the mid-4200s at week's end. I still think that'll happen. And then start a great rally in July, and I still think that'll happen too. That's what we think. Here's how we're counting this. We have an impulsive move up, corrective leg down at some point. We don't know exactly when, but possibly at one of these retracement levels. We're going to reverse and break over this high. Next week is historically one of the most positive weeks of the year, and I think there's a good chance that's when that move is going to at least happen, or at least begin. So, tomorrow's pattern has really high, doesn't mean you won't gap down. Typically it's a bearish day with a low in the final hour, but if it's strong instead, more strength should follow in subsequent days. MEJT is higher targets. If we don't gap down smartly, they're favored to print. But we're in a period with a cluster of unfilled targets. When these things don't print in their preferred time frame, it tends to be a cluster of them. But in the past, these targets have always printed eventually. But until we're out of the environment, we're in a pace to be less dogmatic about when the numbers are seen. I think they'll be seen. They just don't know if they'll be seen right when you expect them to be seen. The general idea is we continue to drop this week and then see a good rally starting in early July, and I'm going to stick with that unless and until I'm proven wrong. So we have higher targets. I think the environment is still one where we're dropping. I don't think the drop's over. I think we don't have a long way to go, and before the end of next week I think we're going to start moving up. It's a pattern tomorrow with the early high, and that's today's call.